Hi everyone, my topic is personal experience and I'm trying to personalize the experience of the customers for the restaurants. In big data world, we have a lot of data being captured which captures the information about the user experience, user behavior. Companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook have been using this information for many years to make personalized recommendation to the customers. I'm trying to solve the same issue but for the restaurants. The dataset that I'm using is from Kaggle. It has more than 5 million rows and 73 columns. So it's clearly a big data. I'm doing a lot of pre-processing, data cleaning, so that machine learning algorithms is as accurate as it could be. Um, I'm using Spotfire for my data visualization. Spotfire is a BI tool which has capability to virtually handle like billions of rows of data. But I'm using a trial version of Spotfire, so my Spotfire has a limitation of uploading of data of only 1 GB. So I am slicing my data for the visualization purpose, but I'm randomizing my data, so it's a actual representation of the real world data. My actual data set is 3 GBs. Um, for machine learning algorithms, I'm using two algorithms. One collaborating filtering. Spark have a very good library for collaborating filtering, and TF-IDF, so which basically scans through the contents and make recommendations based on that. So I'm gonna walk you through the data visualization part of it first, and that's through the Spotfire. I have a link to the Spotfire dashboard embedded, and I have a link to how to access the Spotfire, so you guys can play around with it if you want to. So let me show you what Spotfire looks like. So I first imported my data. You can see here it has m- millions of rows here, and clearly we can see they are missing. Clearly, the moment I uploaded data, I can see there are some issues. Lot of empty values in customer ID, gender column, location type, and it's very easy to visualize that information in Spotfire. So I created a few dashboards, very quick and easy one to do. This is a gender distribution, so we can clearly see there's a lot of missing values in gender. Location type, we can see there's a location, home, other, and work, but a lot of missing values um, for location type too. So that gives us the idea that we need to clean our data and which columns need to be cleaned. Uh, Created another column of the target distribution and the discount percentages, just giving you idea what the data looks like and what are the potential of this BI tool is. Another histogram and a pie chart to give you what idea about what kind of payment methods we use. It's a categorical value. There's a value associated with these numbers. And the payment I created a another dashboard for scatter plot, which essentially say how many what's the total amount spent over time, what's the total amount of deliveries made over time. And we can see clearly here that if we drill down here, these are the outliers. So these customers are paying more than average customers, so it's very easy to drill down into the features and stuff. So it's a very intuitive tool for data visualization. It has a whole bunch of possibilities, but I'm just showing you guys how much capability is there with the Spotfire. So let's go to the code. The code that I have essentially two data set where there's the orders and the train data set. In train data set, we have customer informations, which restaurant customer went to, and whatnot. So so this is basically explaining you, like showing us the schema of the data. I'm displaying the shape of the data set. So we can see here we have 5 million rows in the train data set. All of them are not useful to us, so I'm dropping all the null values, cleaning my data set in the numerical value we have missing value, replacing it with the average of those values, like rating columns and stuff like that. I'm leveraging the power of Spark SQL to clean my data set, and I'll show you some examples where I've leveraged it. I use Spark SQL to tokenize one of my columns. um, so just showing you the data here, visualizing my data, how many customers are there, and data processing steps here, removing all the null values. indexing my categorical column, which is gender. I dropped also a whole bunch of column because in my recommendation system, I just need customer ID and the tag name. We could use more features, but I am restricting my scope to few features only. Processing data. So what I'm doing here is on the basis of when the restaurant is open, I created two columns: open time, close time, and on the basis of open time and close time, created a flag morning, afternoon, evening. So which essentially gives us the idea if the restaurant is open in morning, evening, and afternoon. So it's basically a flag for three time slots. I'm using it for my machine learning algorithm again. More data cleaning step. Now this is the algorithm part of it. So I use two algorithms to make the recommendation for the customers. One is collaborative filtering, which essentially means if one customer went to 5 restaurants and customer two went to 10 restaurants and both have same kind of behavior, then the restaurant that customer five didn't went to will be recommended to customer one. So um, to implement that in Spark, we have a really good library um, called ALS. So using that library, you can essentially input. Let me show you the input parameters. You can say what is the user column. It makes it very easy. So you say what's the user column, what's the item column, and what's the rating column. So it basically recommends you the restaurant based on the ratings that you have done. It makes a prediction. From the prediction, you can recommend the restaurants, and I'm so it's also use a it there is a function called recommend for all users. So you can use that, and it will recommend the users the rest. You have to input the user ID here, and it will make the recommendation. So these are the recommendation made for customer ID this. Then I did a join with the table and basically to display the recommendation for this customer. So this customer ID 3510 is recommended to these 5 restaurants, and I'm displaying only top 5 values because that's the most recommended ones. So this is using collaborative filtering. I'm also using TF-IDF, which basically takes the value of the vendor restaurants tags, like what kind of cuisine they sell, what time they are open. So I'm using that information to make a prediction for the customer. So here's the prediction. Oh, sorry. Here's the prediction for customer ID this. What would be a good future scope to this one would be to have a UI where you can enter a customer ID and it will make prediction for you. I didn't implement it, but there's a future scope in it. And essentially, if you don't want to enter the user IDs, then you can upload a data set and it will make recommendations throughout the data set and kind of push it to the customers to go to those restaurants in the feeds and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of scope into this. So I use TF-IDF to make the second content bin prediction, but also I try to improvise my machine learning algorithm. So in the vendor tag, which says, okay, this restaurant have coffee, pizza, Italian, and all that stuff. I added the time frame to the tags to make the prediction. So if one customers like to go in afternoon and evening, but not in the night time, then that takes into the account and make more solid prediction for that customer. So I have done that here. So added the time slot into the vendor name and made the prediction for that. And this is more robust prediction for that customer as compared to just using the restaurant information. Thank you so much.